Hello, fam. I hope that you receive this message well during this new moon energy, new moon in Gemini. A sign that represents duality as well as union through duality, understanding, childlike wonder, innocence, play. It's a very mental energy, very constructive when it is balanced, and can be neurotic when it's out of balance. The energy currently really feels like opportunities to clear headspace and to listen to the creative impulses within the field, within the body. And so as we prepare to listen for the deeper messages, the hidden meanings behind this current lunar cycle, just setting the intention and asking for clarity, for wisdom, for healing, calling forth the highest truth, the highest light to prevail through this transmission, to unlock the secret places within our hearts where we can allow our mind and our heart to come together in union, to work together, to come to understand this energy better and how we can co-create with it. Full thanks, so be it. All right, so our starting card is the Tiger. And this is the overall general energy for this new moon in Gemini. So as I'm feeling into this, let me just read from this card before I say anything. So the meaning when this card with the tiger is carnal desires, opulence. The regal tiger has inspired both awe and fear in humans across centuries. It is often admired and desired for its beautiful coat, fang-like teeth, and deadly claws. If you've ever been in the presence of the mighty tiger, it's easy to understand why. Everything about a tiger feels carnal, powerful, and full of desire. You, too, embody this eros of you pull this card in this reading. There is a hunger that exists within all of us. What is it that fuels the beast inside? It may be a person, a place, a thing. If you feel this hunger churning, it's time to feed. Our passions can be an incredible primordial force of power that we can use to embrace deep fulfillment and pleasure. Alternatively, you may be in the incredible flow of luxury and abundance. Regardless, something there is a deep, tangible pleasure calling out to you now. Initiate yourself into its mystery. Look to the other cards around the tiger for clues. What is your relationship to pleasure? Where do you feel it in your body? When was the last time you intentionally cultivated and engaged with it? I've heard this coming through too with this energy, that this focus about pleasure and enjoying the fruits of life, enjoying the pleasures that, enjoying being a human, not going overboard though. I sense with this carnal part that there's an invitation to watch the part of us that goes too much into our lower instincts and really loses contact with our spirit. And this is requiring that we pull other cards to get A little bit more depth of perception. We have the rattle. And we have the heart. So are you allowing yourself to take pleasure in simple day-to-day life? The simple things. It doesn't have to be, it talked about opulence and luxury, and those things can be really juicy and wonderful. And I think that there's a time and place for it. And maybe this is it, especially if that's something you've denied yourself. Perhaps this is a time to give it to yourself. But if that's something that you do for yourself regularly, or it just doesn't call to you, look at what you can be doing on the day-to-day. Where can you be connecting with pleasure day-to-day? It could be sitting and sipping your cacao or your tea or your coffee and really enjoying the aromas, the feeling, the sense in your body, the time of the ritual. Or it could be something else, cooking. It could be cleaning. It could be organizing. It could be spending time with friends, watching the sunset, watching the rain. What little pleasures can you start to dial into a little bit more? The rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the 4 directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with the prayer, "Great Spirit, may your will be done." The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good for all, everything we need is provided for us. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit, but to be careful. They are very sharp and can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. Set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is the time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. You want to catch God on the whisper and not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. Are you sharing the pleasures of this world, the pleasure of your company with others who may really need it, may really appreciate it? As you are suffering, are you using that as also an opportunity to connect with others who might be suffering in that way? I'll speak for myself. In times where we are suffering deeply, there's a humility that can be cultivated within that space that allows us to really be heart to heart with other individuals in a way that we likely were not able to connect with them before, to connect with ourselves before, to hold compassion and understanding. The card that followed the rattle is the heart. It says, "I carry a cathedral within me and love never ends." It begins to talk about the churches and the mosques and the temples and the cathedrals and the synagogues and how, they're these miraculous sanctuaries. And they're meant to reflect the majesty and divinity of what also is contained within us. One is not meant to replace the other, but rather reflect and remind us of what exists first and foremost in the human heart. As we know too well, sanctuaries can burn and be destroyed, but the human heart contains the most significant force we can ever experience in life, the power of returning to love. What does it feel like to know that you carry a presence of love within you? Gotta be honest, I'm like a little bewildered already in this reading. It feels just not clear yet. But I feel that there's just a lot happening within the relational fields. There's this feeling of the bifurcation of the realities, the polarities that we are experiencing, that it has increased, and even though it's drawing away, there's also a magnetism towards that's happening at the same time. And so within that chamber and that compression, there's potential to rectify, clean, clear, transcend patterns with an accelerated force. It's incredibly intense, unlike anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. And yet, it feels like we don't have to do this anymore. It feels like this is it. Be done with it. Use this opportunity to get liberated. Use this opportunity to get off the wheel and to restore. I hear restore your integrity. When I say that, that means like restore your truth, restore yourself to your truth, who you have always been, who you came here to be. What is that? Are you living? Part of what we came here to do and be is just to enjoy life, to experience the beauty of life. And actually, the more that we are in that state, the more that we are in love in the moment, not necessarily because there's somebody else outside that we think is the source of that we are recreating that life experience in the world, in our future. But it requires this participation in the now, and it requires us to not just think of ourselves, to turn our focus towards others, which can be a real challenge when we hit grief, when we hit depression, when we hit confusion. It can be difficult to focus on anything other than what's happening in us. The world is revolving around us at that point. But you'll find that when you start to turn your energy towards someone or something else in a loving and serving manner, your stuff may start to clear up. You may start to lift the depression. You may begin to have pattern changes. You may begin to have pattern recognition. And the old ways of relating and doing relationships are just, this is done. It's just done, and it's time to move forward from the connection of the heart and just ask. I was sitting with a dear friend recently, and she had said it very simply and eloquently, but it was something like, if you don't know what to do, you just follow the heart. What does love do? What would love do? How does love speak? How does love act? When in doubt, follow the heart. The heart knows the way. And it feels like the centralized purpose behind this message about pleasure is being able to access and receive and experience pleasure without getting drawn too far into the carnal side, where you lose touch with the heart, where it becomes so carnal that it's only in the body. But it's the fine line of the heart connection with the carnal. So the two together, the force of lower instinct and higher wisdom. It says, get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature, listen to your intuitive feelings. We also have Jaguar medicine here. So cutting through all of the BS, cutting through your emotional looping, cutting through your fears, your deepest fears that trigger the sense of unsafety, that trigger the mechanisms and responses of self-preservation that take you out of your integrity, that are not characteristic to who you are or who you want to be in the world, but it's the old patterning there, and that we need to be doing a lot of clearing work on ourselves in order to maintain that integrity and progress forward. We have to start doing this detoxification. If you have to detox in your body, if you're wanting your mind and your emotions to detox, they're together. They can't be unbound from each other. Call in the violet flame. Ask your angels to help to clear you. Call on Archangel Raphael to clear and heal your emotional and mental body and wounds. Call on Archangel Michael to help cut away cords and to bring peace to any relationships. Call on Shamuel to bring peace into relationships, to reconnect you with your inner child who knows how to relate in a healthy way prior to any programming that they received in this life or before. And that as you do this, the hidden blessings of the goodness of your truth and who you are begin to be revealed. The hidden blessings of living without your mind being just directed at the self in one way, but open and giving and receiving. There's a piece there about that, about the giving and receiving. And if you have trouble receiving, and giving is really easy for you, you might find this to be a great time to experiment with those simple things in life, receiving the experience of pleasure in the simple things in life. And giving from a different place. When you feel that impulse to give, start to track where it comes from and the why, and see what happens if maybe sometime you hold some for yourself and not give it all away. What would happen if let's say you want to give this person $20? What happens if you give them 10 and then you take that other 10 and do something for yourself? What happens if someone wants some of your time and you give them half of that time and you give the other half to yourself? Just start to remanage the way that the incoming and outgoing energies are flowing, experimenting with it without needing to make it into anything. And likewise, if you're on the other end of that and you feel like you're really good at receiving but not so good at giving, what might it be like to let whatever you receive to keep flowing? So if somebody gives you something, especially if you really want to keep it, what might happen if you decided to let it flow to the next person or the next thing? There's restructuring happening within the way that we are relating to our human heart, the way we are relating to one another. It's massive, massive change that is required for whatever this next big evolutionary leap is that we're in and going through this fall. I'm going to speak a bit more from this Get Grounded card. Yeah, the Get Grounded card. I feel this in my body. We've had so many solar flares and CMEs and a lot of Schumann activations. And this ensures that our bodies are getting the upgrades necessary to be able to formulate the new templates that are starting to come online with relating with the relationship between the body and the body of the earth. This says to ground, because you might be blurring boundaries, and then you begin to absorb other things. You don't know what's yours, you don't know what's theirs. So clearing, again, this clearing card too, clearing, grounding, using the elements around you to pull yourself back to your center so you can really assess what's real, what's true, what's here, what's not. Yeah, it's just easy to get swept up in this collective current as of right now and to lose yourself in it. And there's a lot of intuitive information available. If you're listening, if you're intuiting it, just maybe start to scribe some of the things that you're getting. Check in with your body and experiment with how it would feel to touch that part of your body. And then if you were to engage with it by giving it some qualifying attributes, colors, shapes, textures, seeing if there's any symbolism or any object that comes forward with it, you can begin to connect deeper with your intuition as it's trying to guide you towards these hidden blessings. Let's see what the Mayans have to say about the jaguar. So the jaguar is one of the most important animals in the ancient Mexican and Mayan cultures. As a nocturnal hunter and excellent swimmer, the jaguar symbolizes the night and the underworld and is associated with water. Usually spotted but sometimes black, the jaguar is a symbol of power, and many deities sit atop a jaguar throne. While the eagle is considered masculine energy, the jaguar represents feminine energy. Jaguar brings you the power and understanding of the underworld, amplifying your intuition. You're invited to embrace your feminine side and the magic of the cosmos. The jaguar brings the energy of personal empowerment through divination and ritual. And if you are a woman, this power is amplified. Above all, jaguar opens the door to transformation, assuring that you can safely walk through the dark underworld. If you're feeling afraid, you call on the spirit of the jaguar to be with you as you navigate your own fears and illusions, as you navigate spaces in the outer world that may present conflict and fear. Ask for assistance. Ask for help with clearing these energies. But listen to them. Don't ignore them. Rather go towards them. Try to understand them. Create some space between your thoughts and your feelings so that you can observe, so you can watch and be aware of what's hiding underneath them. And whatever you are avoiding, wherever you think, wherever your fears are and wherever you might be most afraid of going, is exactly where all of your hidden gems are. It's where your strengths lie. Often the thing that people think they do the worst is actually the thing that they came here to do best. But they have to overcome the fears and the doubts and the misconceptions about their relationship to that before they can have the actualization of the gift. So the hidden blessings of Hathor: you have beautiful dreams and inspired bold ambitions. You are guided to believe that they are a natural expression of your soul, something that is meant to be. Life will support you in the expression of those dreams and ambitions, even if the moments where it seems you are experiencing struggle rather than support. The process for transformation into full maturity involves learning how to grow through light and dark and back to the light again. You will always find your way back to the light. Have faith in yourself and what must be. Dedicate yourself to what you love without hesitation. And if you're experiencing loss or change, have faith. Sometimes things happen that seem to be working against us. It is only later that they show themselves to have been valuable ways by which we acquired the greater faith, courage, and determination that were necessary to the fulfillment of our process. Know that your destiny is unfolding, and you are moving through circumstances that are ultimately going to help you become your soul in fullness and splendor. Keep going. Everything happening in your life is allowing you to fulfill your divine potential. Know that any darkness will give way to the light. Just as life and death are natural, so too is growth. It is natural for the moon to change phases, and for that which has ended to fertilize new life. It is extraordinary to the point of being almost unbelievable, but natural nonetheless. It is natural for the bones of the sacred cow to return to the earth to give her minerals, which in turn support new life. Within our human lives, loss is part of what allows something new to be vitalized. You too are moving through the cycle of life. Sometimes this can be confronting. To give up old ways or old identities can seem frightening to the mind. Yet it is inspiring and exciting for the soul that yearns to blossom into fullness and cannot thrive when it is held back in fear. You may forget this momentarily and turn away from where you are headed out of confusion or concern. It may seem as though you are being asked to give up too much to secure your goals. You may wonder if it is foolish imagination rather than genuine soul purpose that is driving you forward. If you are a visionary with ideas that are not yet widely understood but will help push humanity toward the new world, you may struggle more than most. In this case, you are asked to take leaps of faith and endure the endings inherent in evolution, whilst waiting for the signs of new life. You will have this asked of you because it is necessary for the process of creation, and most importantly, for you to have enough faith in your soul to handle it. There you have it, fam. Enjoy life. Enjoy the little pleasures in life. Gift yourself the things that make life worth it. Make life worth living. Especially if you're going through a hard time, do some things that allow you to reconnect with that sense of wonder, of play, of exploration, of enjoyment and pleasure. And don't get caught in the web of self-centeredness. Start to expand and cast that energy of asking for help for others. Also include others in your prayers, in your intentions, in your time, in your service. Because all we're doing is we're finding the ways that we have lost relating from the heart. And your intuition is going to be guiding you. It's powerful right now, and it's guiding you towards the blessings that you're seeking, that you're praying for. But it's not going to come to you with ease. It's not going to come to you without difficulty, without challenge, without resistance. So get grounded. Do the things that clear your system and detox your body. And do it consistently. And may you walk along the path of freedom to discover who you truly are and to share that light with the world. So if you felt like this reading was helpful, please give me a thumbs up, put a comment in, share, and if you want more, subscribe. Always so grateful to be here with you all and to be sharing these messages. So grateful for the transmissions that are delivered. And until we meet again, stay pure and keep it simple. Pura vida.